say it was a new day, but it's not. We're just continuing on the video from the one that you guys just watched yesterday, and we are going to get right back on Travis's car and get this long block together and get it in the car. That is the plan. So hopefully I can knock that out today, because we are running a little bit short on time today, being Sunday, and you guys will probably be seeing this as of, I would assume, Tuesday. We are ran into a little dilemma here. So we're waiting on parts from Brian Crower, and they didn't get shipped out in time. So they're probably not going to come until Monday. So with that being said, you guys are going to notice when I put the motor in the car that it's not going to have any of the timing stuff on the front of the motor. And that's because of us not having those parts from Brian Crower. So I'm going to get it all the way to where I can, and then we literally just have to time the motor in the car, which isn't that big of a deal. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to get this thing all the way complete, and hopefully I can get it in the car. If not, and I hold off, it'll be because I'm waiting on those parts, and then it is easier to do it out of the car. So we'll see kind of where we are at today when we get to the end. But enough talking, let's get to it. So here's where we left off from yesterday. Everything, it was a bare long block at this point. We got the oil pan pickup tube, all the galley plugs are in now, and we got the heads on. So now at this point, the next step is going to be getting these ABCS lines on that run up to here. These are very important to do before the crossover tube, because if you don't, you're not going to get them underneath the crossover tube. Also, you have one right here as well. If you don't put this one on before you do the timing cover, then you're going to have a lot of issues. So let's do the ABCS lines on this thing, get the coolant crossover tube on, and we're going to get the oil pump all modified and put onto the motor. And we're going to get the water pump on here as well. So that way we can get this thing pretty much ready to drop in at that point. All right, let's get you guys up on the tripod and let's get to it. Jumping a little bit ahead, guys, but we got this thing all the way together besides that front timing area that I had talked about, because we are waiting on the aftermarket cam gears. So we need to seal these up and get the cam gears on, and then we can put the timing on. Those are going to come tomorrow at some point. So we're just going to get this thing tossed in tonight, so that way tomorrow we can come out in the morning and get everything else hooked up and just leave the front of the motor apart like we're doing a timing belt service on it. So now just look at how good this thing looks now. No more purple block. Sorry, Travis. But this thing looks so much better, and it's all nice and clean. So I'm going to get you guys set up on a tripod. I'm going to throw this in, and then we're going to call it a night. Oh man, back in the car. How do you feel about this?
I'm super excited right now.
It's coming. We are just waiting on those dang cam gears like I was telling you guys, so.
Hey, still it's a shout out to Dustin at Brian Crower.
This is true.
He helped me out a lot, especially with shipping, and got them expedited. They'll be here tomorrow.
So thank you, Dustin. You always take care of us, and Brian does over at BC. So cam gears will be here tomorrow. We'll go ahead and get those all degreed, set up in the motor the way we need them. In the meantime, tomorrow morning, he might be over here too. We'll get the rest of the stuff knocked out in the car. We're going to be putting the full fuel system in the car now, so that way she can make big boy power. So this is going to end out the video tonight for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to see more of this car, because we have a lot coming. We got a good Portland trip coming. Turn this thing up. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Hit that button.
Oh,
Hey,
what is this? We got goodies?
Yeah.
Look, the dogs are freaking out. What do we got in here, guys?
Happened to run into the UPS guy when I stopped by the store.
Right?
Brian Crower cam bellies.
Oh, there we go. That's the missing part that we needed. Now we can get this thing going finally. Well, looks like we get to have all the fun while you're busy working.
Work.
Yep.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good day.
Well, thank you for delivery.
Yep.
Now
Now
we
little
can-
Riley's know I'm gonna be back for more oil tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna need that for break-in. For everyone wondering what oil, because everyone always asks, there we have it. VR1 racing oil, 1030 on this motor. That's what we're gonna be using to break in the motor and run it on always.
Yes.
So, well, look how nice it is outside today.
It is beautiful.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees today. Look at the whip you got here. That will drag the STI.
Oh yeah, every day.
All
On a
day,
trailer.
every day. Literally, you can have the trailer hooked up and still drag it. Yep.
Great.
Finally, we can get to work, guys. Those videos sure do take a while to edit, and that one you guys are gonna really like. It's gonna go up here the day before this video, or a couple days. So we are gonna get to work, and right now I'm gonna grab some stuff from the mailbox real quick that we got, and then we'll get to work right onto Travis's car. So let me get this stuff and we'll get to it. We're finally getting to work today. We got Colton helping us. Big thanks, buddy.
Oh yeah.
So we were getting started. As you guys saw just before this clip, we got the cam gears from Travis. They came in. So open up one of these so you can see them here. Ta-da. So we were gonna get those put on this morning, because you saw last night we got the motor in the car sitting here. Now here's one key point that I always tell you guys to do once you get the motor in, is check the clutch pedal, because this has happened many times where you put the motor all the way in the car, you're gonna be 100% done, and then your clutch doesn't work and you gotta go backwards. So it definitely does suck. This is a candidate of that situation. Unfortunately, the clutch fork, for whatever reason why, does not want to click in place. So if you see here, I just got a ton of movement. This has a brand new throw-up bearing on it, brand new ACT clutch in it with the monolock. So it's kind of weird that it's not clicking into place. We have tried taking off the slave cylinder. That didn't seem to do the trick. So unfortunately, this motor's just got to come out. Lame.
Duh.
That's how we're starting our day. Also, we did start out with a little bit of a scare. BC sent the plugs for the cams because we're deleting ABCS on this car. We need these plugs to plug up those oil galley holes on the cam. And well, I had Travis call, and maybe he just worded it incorrectly, so we only got 4. But lucky for him, I just so happen to have 4 spares. So what is the luck of that? So I guess we have somewhat of a lucky day, but not lucky. So I'm gonna get you guys set up on a tripod. I'm gonna get this motor pulled back out. We're gonna see what's going on with that clutch together, and we'll get it sorted out. Well guys, we got the motor out. Thanks, Colton. It was a breeze. We didn't barely have it in there anyways. Like I was saying, guys, we have an ACT monolock. These never have troubles with the throw-up bearing pulling out, but thank you to Travis. He helped me pull this motor out. I was a little bit busy on the day that he did, and unfortunately, we have the clutch fork right here. This guy must have got caught up because he has this drain hose right here, so I'm guessing he just didn't get this fork out all the way when he got it out. So I noticed on the throw-up bearing when I pulled it out, if you look at these tabs here that kind of hold on to the fork, here, I'll slide it down for you guys, maybe. One hand of fury here, there we go. So, see how that one's all bent to the side? It wasn't like that, it should be over, but I went ahead and gave them a little tap before we put them in. Now just know if you ever tap on these things, there's that chance that they'll do that right there. See how there's nothing covering it like that one? So that is our problem of why this clutch wasn't working, and that is why we had to pull the motor back out.
No
Dang.
bueno.
But no big problem. We got much more of those in stock. So I'm gonna throw on a new one there. We'll get that fixed, and then we'll get this motor right back in. There we go, guys. We got our replacement throw-up bearing here, and we'll put that guy on. There he has some lube on there. You slide the fork down in. You do this before you put the motor in, guys. Put that down just like that, and that's how that's supposed to look, not like the other one. So that explains why we had like half of a clutch pedal going on. Then we have our little clutch pin. I've showed you guys these before. This slides through right there. You always want to make sure you get it seated all the way into here, because if you don't, they like to break this ear off, and then if you break that off, you know what that means. You're pretty much screwed. But let's not do that today. We're going to put this in, and then we're going to get this motor back in. So me and Colton decided, while the motor is out of the car, no better time than to knock out this timing. It is a lot easier out of the car than it is in it. So we're going to get this thing put on a engine stand, which we have right here. We just got to pull off the clutch on the back. That's no big deal. And yes, we could do this in the car, but if we already have it out, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, we decided this is how it's gonna go today. So let me get that clutch pulled off, get this on the engine stand, and let's walk through on what we gotta do to do an ABCS delete on this, guys. As you guys saw, we got this thing all on the engine stand now. I went ahead and also put the, oh man, I can't even think right now. It's the Woodruff key, I guess you would call it, on this crankshaft. So if you look right there, so we got that on. Then we put this is called a crankshaft sprocket gear for the timing to go on. So we had to get that guy on there too. I do like to lube these in case you ever plan on pulling this motor apart, which obviously we don't want to for quite some time, but if you ever have to, this guy will just slide off, because that's a good idea. Then moving on, we are now ready to get this thing timed. If you look here, I'm going to take a look in the camera. You'll see there's the 4 holes on the cam. If you look on the side, it might pick them up that they're threaded. So it is very cool that BC does that. They're one of the only cam companies I know that threads their cam so you can put block offs. But I'm assuming it's because they're the company that makes the cam gears for these. So it makes the most sense that why they do that. So on these, and we're doing the ABCS delete like I've talked to you guys about before, and we have to put plugs in these. Now when you put these plugs in, there's obviously oil that runs through here, so we need to put some sealant on those plugs along with this upper bolt. That is very important. This has no ABCS and exhaust, so we have no oil coming through these, but this top one, there's actually oil that goes through the bolt and feeds that cam gear as well. So we need to make sure that we're putting sealant on this top cam gear bolt. Otherwise you will always think that you have a cam seal leak, and it'll look like a cam seal leak, but it'll actually be coming from the front of the bolt. So that's a good tip for you guys there. Let's get these little Allens in these cams, get them sealed up, get the gears on, then we'll get the belt on, and then I'm gonna get the cams degreed to the spec that I like to run. guys saw there, I got those cam gears on there now. And when putting these on, you are gonna have to convert over to a different bolt style. So here is the part number for you guys. This is gonna be a non-ABCS exhaust cam bolt. We are actually gonna be using all 4 of these on these because we don't have ABCS anymore, obviously. So we just need this bolt to go into these guys. So that way, if you guys were ever to do this, that would be the part number you would need. I'm gonna get this bolt out of here, get those in. Like I said, you saw me put, now I'm standing in the light. You saw me put some sealant, you can kind of see it there on that upper one. That's because oil comes through that cam. The bottom one, we don't have any oil come through, so we don't need to put oil, or don't need to put sealant on the bolt or on this cam or any sort. So that one just goes right in. It's just the upper one, guys. So let me get this out of the bag. We'll get this thing together. What are you doing, guy?
Break into your house.
It's been a long time since you've been on video. Do you even know what it's like anymore? No one even knows. What's up, guys? This is Nick. He's very homeless looking right now.
Wait, what? Right.
Look at the ponytail. What are you, a female? It's even pink.
Looks fine.
Look at this. Pink. This is what Corona's doing to you. I see. Oh, shoot.
What's up?
As you guys saw, we just got those cam gears all set up on Travis's car.
Looks off time.
And it's ready to go. This guy's a freaking jerk. You listen here, pal. You ain't getting no shirt now.
What? I already paid you.
Well, refund plus I charge you 10% restocking fee.
That's right. Hasn't even left your house yet.
Restock fee, bro.
Are we putting this in or what?
Whoa!
Oh, fuck.
No curse.
Yeah, no cussing, guy.
You can bleep it out.
Jeez. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go before he gets me in trouble here. Thanks, guy. Let's go get your shirt.
No problem.
All right, now that we got this motor all timed and ready to go in the car, I like to give him a good once over, turn the motor over, double check, can't even talk, double check our timing on our engine. That way it's just good to know. I like turning over by hand anyways when we're doing kind of specs like these on the cams, where we want to make sure nothing's hitting. So if you take a peek down here, we have our center crank lined up, obviously with the oil pump. And you go over here, and we obviously are pretty close on the passenger side. That side's, I would be livable with that. But when we move over here to the driver's side, this is where we got problems, guys. See how far off we are on this cam? Now, it's not off time. It is timed correctly, but this is how far off we are, and that is gonna cause some problems, guys. Now, you might be asking what causes this, and what do I mean when it's not off time? Yes, obviously it is off time by looking at them, but as far as being off time on the belt or timing it in the first place, it's not off time, and it doesn't skip a tooth when I'm turning it over. But the things that would cause this issue would be the heads have been decked too many times. So there's not enough surface there. So now we're on a closed deck block. Obviously it's been decked. Then we have a head that we had no real history on. I don't know the history on them. Travis might, where they've been decked multiple times. Obviously, when we did the 1/2-inch drill on the heads, we did need to deck them a little bit, and plus it's a new build. We want to make sure they're flat, and we're talking very minimal getting taken off. 0.001 is what my guy starts at, takes the minimal off, and something's going on with the heads. So the only way we're going to fix this, obviously, right now in the position that we're at, is going to be getting some LIC adjustable pulleys, and those would help fix the issue that we're having right now, because I actually can put more tension on the belt to keep it in time where I need it. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to make Travis order those. So as you can tell, today hasn't been the most great. We've ran into several issues, as you do with most builds when you're going through them. And unfortunately, even though we're on kind of a time crunch on this one, I'll probably just end up having to give Travis a car to drive for this week, is what it'll come down to. But this is important. I'm not going to let it go that way into the car, because it's going to cause problems. We're going to have constant issues. It wouldn't be right. It's not the right way to do it. Obviously, another way to do this would be to replace the cylinder heads, and I know that's just not in his budget right now, or he would have done it in the first place. So definitely kind of sucks a lot. I wish I would have known, and maybe that he would have known too, on the heads if they've been decked this many times, because this sucks. There's no better way to put it. It just sucks. I have had good luck with the LIC pulleys I'm talking about. Those are adjustable pulleys. They go right here, guys, right there, so we can adjust the tension on the belt. I use them on Hyper Blue because those heads have been decked a lot, so that would be the fix for this. But I'm going to call Travis and let him know what's going on, because this is not good. Oh, look who we got here. What? Said, look who we got here. Let me put you on speaker. So, I'm having some issues.
You got what?
I've been having some issues all day.
Oh, man. What now?
I had to pull the motor back out of the car, as one.
Cause one?
That's number one issue. You see, when you were pulling the engine out of the car, I'm guessing the fork for the clutch fork got stuck in the throw-up bearing, and it kind of bent the tabs over a little bit. So I went ahead and kind of tapped them back in place at risk of knowing that they might break, but I figured, nah, I'll send it, because it's your car and it's like my car. So I put it in, and it actually broke where I didn't hit the tabs. It broke higher up, and I had to pull the motor back out and replace the throw-up bearing. So I got the motor out, and I was like, well, I might as well time this thing while it's out, right?
Okay.
And well, you see, I ran into some bigger problems.
What?
BC only sent us 4 plugs, and I needed 8 for the cams, because they sent us one set for one cam. But luckily, I had 4, so you lucked out there. That was win number 2. But the win number 3 is where I'm having troubles. And these cylinder heads have been decked far too much.
I ain't buying shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm off a full tooth to tooth and a half on the driver's side, far off.
Sounds right.
So the only way to correct this in the position that we're in, I need you to order a set of LIC adjustable pulleys so I can set the timing up correctly. Because this is going to cause nothing but issues. They're called LIC, and they're on Rally Sport.
Okay.
And they allow me to adjust the timing belt to put some tension on it, and I can correct the issue that we're having. This is what I run on Hyper Blue.
Okay.
So there is a fix to it, yes, but it sucks because of our time frame we're dealing with.
Yeah, so I'm going to be borrowing this car for a few days.
Yes.
Alright.
I am going to try one more thing. Just so you guys see, we've been outside working for a while, and if this thing will focus. No, man, it ain't focusing worth a crap. Yep, we are only at 16% uploaded. This is what I have to deal with every day. So as you guys saw there, we just got off the phone with Travis, letting him know what's going on today and what we're going to need to do to continue on this build. This is how it goes, guys. When we're doing builds, sometimes they don't always go as planned. And unfortunately, our very first hiccup was the cam gears. And now we're fighting the pulleys here. So we're gonna have to get a set of those ordered, get this thing fixed. This is kind of a band-aid on it. It will work and it won't have any issues, but I probably would have preferred to put new heads on this thing had I known that the heads were too decked. Granted, I'm sure Travis told me, but the amount of times I talk to customers and different people all the time, I don't always remember, guys. So maybe it was me that dropped the ball on that one. So unfortunately, that's what we're gonna have to do. We have to get those pulleys ordered, but doesn't mean we have to stop here. We can go ahead and get this thing back in the car at least, because like I said before, we can time it in the car. That's not that big of a deal. We already got the cam gears all set up. Everything's ready to go. So we can actually get this thing back in the car, make sure the clutch works this time. And now we got that new throwout bearing on there, and get this thing back together so that way we're just waiting on those pulleys. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna get you guys set up on a time lapse. You guys already watched me put the motor in though. Nah, whatever. I'll get you on a time lapse. You guys see me throw this in. It only takes a couple minutes, and then we'll get this thing thrown back together. We're back out here, guys, and you can see it's kind of sunsetting right now, and I've been working on this thing for a while. I didn't want to give up, guys, and I've done this before. It's worked for me. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is not the correct way. So before you go out and jumping out and do this, please know that this is Travis's car. Travis is sponsored by me, which makes it like my own personal car. I treat this car like it's my own car. Travis will know that this is not 100% the correct way, but it will work and it will do what we need to. If we have an issue with it throwing a cam sensor code, then we can put the LIC pulleys on. But let me explain to you a little bit what I did here. So we have our crank. As you can see, we are right at top dead center. It's really close. I could probably go a little bit more on there, but it's pretty close. We have our passenger side pretty much lined up, guys, about as perfect as it's gonna get. Driver side. So let this thing focus as I'm shaking. So we have our passenger side. We're off half a tooth here. Now, some of you will probably be like, well, we're still off half a tooth. What are you doing? But that's pretty common on a used head motor or anything that's been decked. And we're being very limited right now with the gasket we're using. They don't make a whole bunch of variables in these gaskets like some make. There's a 039 JE or 051 JE where you have a thicker gasket. But what happens here is what I'm doing is I'm mimicking what's wrong. You assess that our cam gears over here, they were retarded I don't want to say 1 degree, but it's 1 tooth. So when I go back through and I time the motor, I'm advancing those marks over 1 tooth, and that's where it gets me over to that half a tooth, and that's pretty common. I'm fine with rolling a half a tooth. That would be perfectly okay. I don't foresee us having any issues having cam sensor codes with this car, but in the case that we do, oh well, we'll just get the LIC pulleys, we'll put them on there, it'll be done the right way, no big deal. But just know that if this was a customer car, then no, I would not. I would just make them order the LIC pulleys. Yes, Travis is a customer, but he is a sponsored customer of mine. He will understand where I'm coming from, and he will go with what I say is correct or what I say to do at this time. So that's what I'm gonna do with it. You guys will get to follow. You'll get to see if I'm wrong and it throws a cam sensor code, or if it doesn't. I don't see it throwing a cam sensor code. I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, saying this is not the correct way to do it. Why are you doing that? But I've done this in the past on my personal cars. Let's keep that word there, personal. And this will work. I will show you guys if it doesn't work, so that way you can be like, I told you so. And like I told you guys, I'm being transparent as possible with you and showing you these builds and everything that comes along with it, so that way you guys are there every step of the way. It's literally like you're just right here with me building the car. And I wanted to be transparent and tell you guys that. So now that we got these gears on here and we're the half a tooth mark off, I'm fine with doing that. I'm gonna go back through, we're gonna torque all our pulleys, and we're gonna torque our cam gears. Now on these guys, they don't have anything for me to put the company 23 tool on and torque them, so we're gonna have to hold the belt like this and torque those pulleys. There's always a chance it could skip a tooth, so you might have to retime this again. But usually you can get away with just holding the belt tight enough to where they won't skip a tooth to torque those, because we need to torque those to 65 foot-pounds on both sides. And then the rest of the pulleys here, we need to go ahead and get those torqued or double checked. I've already torqued them, but I like to just double check everything. Do it all at once. You saw me earlier torque these. Obviously I had to retime it, so that one down there and the tensioner aren't torqued to spec, but you guys saw me torque some things before and not the cam gears. That's because I wanted to get everything set up and then torque them. So just talk you guys through it. I'm gonna get those torqued and we are gonna get this all back together in the front, get the timing covers on it, and get this thing back in the car. I know I've said it multiple times. We just ran into some dilemmas. So let's get to work, guys, get this thing together.
Hey, sir.
Hey, what's up?
Trying to figure out how I'm going to fix some brakes and bearings on the brakes of the unit.
Nice. I have some good news. So,
Okay.
I did my trick on the timing, and I was able to get it to where I'm happy, and it's half a tooth off, which
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine with rolling. If it is the fact that we have a cam timing code later on, or at any point, then we'll have to order those LIC pulleys and put those on.
Okay.
But I've already set these half a tooth. I'm perfectly fine with. I went ahead and gave Steve a call to let him know what I'm dealing with, since he's going to be tuning the car, and I didn't want him to kind of battle it out when we're down there. So, and he also agreed that we were perfectly fine to run it.
Okay.
So I just wanted to call and update you, and now I'm going to get the front of this motor together and try to get the same in the car.
Beautiful.
So that's where your update is. Now I'm going to go back to work.
Sounds good, bud.
All right, buddy. I'll keep you updated.
Thanks. Appreciate
See ya.
it. Okay, bye.
Now that we let Travis know what's going on, because I told him I'd let him know if he needs to order those pulleys right now or not. Now that he knows, we are going to go ahead, get the front of this motor back together, and get this thing going. And I am battling a mosquito out here. Can you believe this is this time of year again? Go away. Jeez. Alright, so since it did jump a tooth when I was torquing these cam gears, which isn't too uncommon, especially when you got one of me out here. If there was two of us and I got someone actually holding this, then that wouldn't have been as much of an issue. But I figured this is a good time to show you what I was talking about, guys. And as you can see here, we got our timing mark there. That's lined up. Moving over to the passenger side, we have our mark lined up right there. And we have our mark lined up right there. Now moving over to the driver's side is where things get a little different. See where our mark is, where it normally would be, and see where I'm setting my cam. If it would focus, it's trying to focus right there. So I have my mark there, and then moving down, you can see I have my mark there, and you can see where the belt is. So I have these advanced forward. So now that's what I'm talking about. So when you take a look here, that's where they're at right now, okay? Now we're gonna go over here. We are going to pull the pin in our tensioner. I'm gonna turn this motor over for you to show you guys. So we need to go over. And I am fighting mosquitoes out here, guys. That's why I changed into pants, because they are all over right now. Sorry, I was just grabbing one. So we're getting this lined up here. Best we can, right? But we need to go again. Wow, noob moment there. My bad. And I went past. So we're gonna go around again. Okay, so now we got our mark coming up. So we're gonna slow down. So we got our mark lined up there. Come over to the passenger side. Pretty much as dead on as we're gonna get there. More driver's side, and look how close we are, guys. See in focus. We're only that half a tooth off, if even that. I mean, we're really close, so I will pass that. That is fine. If you look up at a top mark, for those really curious, there's a top mark with the top mark right there. So I'll give it as a pointer. Look how close that is, guys. Can't get much better than that. That's why I'm okay to roll that. That shows you a little bit more of what I was talking about. So let me get the covers on the front of this and we're good to go. Literally the same spot that we got to last night, guys, and I called it a night before checking the clutch fork. So we're gonna go ahead and click this guy back, and hopefully we can get this thing to stay this time. Let's go ahead and see. So as you can see down here, I'm pumping the clutch, which usually you shouldn't have to do this, but for whatever reason, this thing is fighting us. Same thing that we were dealing with earlier, guys. Let's go out there. Clutch fork feels good. It's not getting any crazy movement, but we aren't clicking into place. So one thing I can do here, I'm going to take out this bolts on the slave cylinder, and then I can move the fork back more. So let me do that. So I got those bolts out of there, and I was able to move this back further, and it did click in, guys. So let's go check that pedal. Fingers crossed this thing's going to work now. I haven't had one of these stupid front bearings fight me this much in years. So here we go, guys. First read to see. Let's see. Oh, look at that. That is a beautiful sight right there. So we have a perfect working clutch. Pedal feels amazing. It's really smooth, soft. That is a moment of sigh and relief. So we finally got that figured out. We've had a rough day, you guys. Nothing but issues on this thing today and working our way through it and battling through. But we did it, guys. We got back exactly where we were last night, but we have a working clutch now and we got the motor time. So I guess there is some benefits to it, but we did fight this thing a lot today, and that's just kind of what happens with projects. Nothing goes perfect every time. So just know that, guys, if you ever have this and you get frustrated, just take a breather. It'll work out. You'll figure out the problem. You'll figure out how to get the car back together. So that's what we did. Kind of took a step back, got it figured out, took that slave cylinder off, clutch ended up clicking in and worked great. So now, pretty happy here, Travis. So if you're watching, this thing is ready to go back together. We're running out of daylight here right now. Plus, it's probably about 8 o'clock at night right now, so we probably should start old girl over there before Bob the Builder starts complaining. Well, that's gonna wrap it up today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys really did enjoy me being transparent and trying to show you guys all the quirks of when you're building a car and what I go through sometimes with building cars. So that way you guys can take that knowledge as how you want it. I did have to go ahead and cut it short because the camera did die right there when I was recording towards the end, and I had to move Series Gray into the garage for tonight, move the white one back over here, and the WX over there. So it's kind of a chore to do, and needed to do that before it gets too late. It's about 8 to 8:30 right now, and well, you guys know Bob the Builder will have a panic attack if it goes any later. So that's gonna end it out, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks again for tuning in. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video.